You're very welcome back. Now, January has arrived, which means one thing. Health and fitness books have hit the shelves just in time for your resolutions.
And if you're looking for some inspiration to help you reach your goals this year, whether they're to eat healthier, cook more or optimise your brain health, we have you covered.
Yes, Gillian Hynes from The Body Project joins us now to chat through her top picks. Good morning to you, Gillian.
Morning,
Good morning.
Gillian.
Happy New Year. You can be Happy New Year to you, and you're very welcome. It's bamboozling to walk into a bookshop, isn't it, at the moment, because there are just shelves and walls dedicated to health and fitness and resolutions.
Absolutely, and walls, and then more to the point, going on the internet, so much information out there, it's all very confusing.
Yes, so you have kind of narrowed it down to your top 4 books.
Yeah.
The books that you really feel like you can kind of stand over in terms of their content.
Definitely, and I think for us all to learn more about our bodies in general and our health, not just our health and fitness, but actually, you know, risk for disease, longevity, lots of different things.
Okay.
And we're kicking off with Glow 15. So this is a 15-day plan to help kickstart your new regime. Is that what it is?
Exactly. And what I like about this book, because all too often these kind of quick plans, they're unsustainable, but this is a very sustainable plan. I really like the kind of things that she's supporting. So obviously, you know, at the outset, it's staying away from processed foods, staying away from sugary foods. That's like first and foremost. We all know that. But she also incorporates things like intermittent fasting, and your viewers will be, some of your viewers will be familiar with that, others will never have heard of it. And it's basically planned periods of not eating. And that sounds a little bit intimidating, but it's actually much easier than you think, and unbelievably healthy for us in terms of our weight loss, but also for risk of disease. She also incorporates HIIT training and weights training. She's lots of exercise there in the book.
What's
and things
HIIT
we can do. So HIIT training is high intensity interval training.
Okay.
And as well, that can sound a bit intimidating, but my version of HIIT training might be different to yours and different to Simon's.
Yeah.
So it's kind of what's high intensity for you, but is the best way to lose weight and best way to grow muscle at the same time. Highly effective. I think it's a great plan and a great, you know, antidote to all the excess of Christmas.
Okay, because our own resident nutritionist, Heather Leeson, talks about that intermittent fasting. And she would often say, finish dinner at 7 o'clock and don't eat until 7 o'clock the next morning for your breakfast. So do you feel it should be extended? Well,
Naomi Whittle supports a 16-hour non-eating window.
That's a long window.
But you know what, it's funny, it's not, because if you stop eating at 8 o'clock at night, you go to bed maybe around 11, you get up at 8, you only have to get to 12 o'clock that day to do a 16-hour fast. And I did some experimenting with myself last summer and had clients doing it, and the results were astounding. I found it absolutely amazing and really easy to stick to. It's very black and white. It's very easy to just not eat, actually, when you put your mind to it. And then when you're in your 8-hour eating window, you tend to eat better. So it's an amazing tool, and I would highly recommend people give it a go.
Okay, so the second one, that Naomi Whittle, you said, was written the first. The second one, David Perlmutter, Rainmaker. And this talks about the ill effects of gluten. And as a father of a celiac child now, this has rung a bell for me.
Piques your interest.
Yeah.
His original book, in fact, was Grain Brain, and that was very much an exhaustive study at looking at the relationship of gluten and our health and neurological problems. This book, though it does touch on gluten, this is actually about your gut microbiome, and that's basically the bacteria that lives in our intestines. So people would find that a bit horrifying, but if we didn't have this bacteria, we wouldn't be alive. So we really need it. But
the good bacteria.
Well, we have all sorts of bacteria, but the problem is, in the modern world, we're through our diets, through excessive use of antibiotics, we're exacerbating what I'm going to call the bad bacteria, to put it very simply. We need that bad bacteria, we just don't need as much of it. So we've kind of created a ratio imbalance, more bad bacteria, less of the good bacteria. And that has really serious implications. And when you're reading this book, there's incredible studies, and this is like a real new, I suppose, field of study. And there's just incredible evidence to suggest that that bad imbalance has a huge relationship with neurological problems, from dementia to depression, and also autoimmune disease. So lots of things like rheumatoid arthritis, ulcerative colitis. And, you know, you have to read it, I suppose, yourself to kind of get to I suppose, understand that, because it can kind of sound like nonsense. But actually, you know, it's quite clear from the studies that there is a huge connection.
As you say, the fact that there's a connection between these now, it's new to us. Isn't it?
I think, and I think it's something that's been coming out in the last few years. I think it's going to be a huge conversation in the coming years, and I think we'll look back in time and go, how did we not know this? In 100 years' time, it'll be so the thing to kind of make sure that the gut microbiome is healthy. But it has implications for our weight, because it's something I didn't know. The bad bacteria, again, you know, I'm very much oversimplifying it here, extracts more calories from food than the good bacteria. So you imagine twin sisters on the same diet, one might be lean and the other one might be overweight, simply because the bacteria is out of whack. But encouragingly, he does provide information how to correct that. So, and it's quite simple stuff. It's probiotics and prebiotics.
Yeah.
The good news is coffee, tea, and wine and chocolate are on the menu, so he doesn't take those off.
Oh, I like
it's not
them.
all misery.
Fantastic.
But
sugar-rich diets.
I think at the crux of all our problems is sugar and processed foods. We all know that, and definitely sugar and high fructose corn syrup and the kind of the guises that it comes in, even in Europe, are things to be eliminated and things we need to watch out for.
OK, interesting. Book number 3 is The Body. This is Bill Bryson. So we were having a chat about Bill Bryson during the break. Lots of viewers will be familiar with his travel books.
Exactly.
But and this is him in kind of a different guise, I suppose.
Totally, a total departure from, but I suppose in a way it's an exploration of the human body. So it's kind of almost a travelogue of human life from birth to death, and from literally our skin right to our insides. And, if biology had been this interesting in school, I'm sure I'd have paid a lot more attention. And it's just a really interesting book. It's full of funny anecdotes, also information about how, medical science evolved through the years, how we made scientific discoveries. And I think what's nice about this book is you learn so much about your body, and most of us go through our lives, we know very little about it, and we don't really respect our body necessarily as a result. But I think actually knowing more about your body is a really good thing, because you kind of think, my God, this is the most incredible machine.
And imagine it's a very accessible read as well because of his writing style.
Yeah, it's really interesting. It's really interesting. And look, if learning more in the new year is one of your New Year's resolutions, stick this on your reading list. It's a really, really great book.
So the last one is something that we've done on the show here before by Fumiko Takatsu, which is face yoga methods.
Yeah. So
that's becoming huge, isn't it?
It is. I mean, we had a bit of fun with it, but actually it is becoming a big trend, isn't it?
I think so. Well, actually, sadly for me, it was I came across this book. It was a sponsored ad on Instagram, so obviously they're watching me. They know I'm in my 40s and paranoid about my skin. I'm like, this is a bit depressing. They found me. But, we talk about toning our bodies, our arms, our bums and all this stuff, but actually our faces get left behind. And, we're all paranoid about it, unfortunately. And, all these medical interventions we're doing, which, they're expensive. They don't last. And all too often they don't even look great. So the natural route is always the best route. We've something like 70 muscles in our faces and our necks, and we can target them too.
You need to exercise them.
Yeah, but actually I have to laugh. Like some of the exercises, I was trying to do some of them, and honestly, you have to be locked away in a room on your own.
We've done a few.
Yeah, I know.
The most. It's not. It's worse than that. But you actually look completely insane.
You do,
so I'm trying to, drive the car.
Do it in the privacy of your own home.
Totally. But it's definitely worth a try. And actually, you can feel it. Like
the car is a good place to do it, actually, isn't it?
Yeah, but then I have seen fellow drivers kind of looking at me, thinking that they need to call an ambulance.
Well, listen, we're right out of time. We thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Recommendations are brilliant. A great selection there. Thank you, Gillian.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gillian.